Can't stop, won't stop. That's how we're going. Your boy Chatsky here. We are finally going to do what so many people have been asking to do. My name's War Daddy Chatsky. I've got my own YouTube channel. If you like what you see, if you like some of the videos I put out, throw a like and subscribe here. We're going to give you, I'm not going to say daily content, but we give you the informative content you need in the game of Rise of Kingdoms, okay, to get as much value as you can get, okay, and to help make your life easier. And we do that with one simple thing in mind. We want to give real rock life applications, okay? Real applications when you're fighting, defending, doing all the things in rock, murder balls, rallies, garrison, support, anything and everything you can think of. That's the whole point of what we do. So like I said, if you like what we've got going on, be sure to subscribe and like the channel, like the video. And we have our memberships now that you can join there. I'll have the Discord link for our Discord in the description. And members have a member-only room, chat room that we're in, and got a lot of high-power players and high-power people in there that know their stuff. And it's a great place to come in, and I can reply to you and help you guys with your accounts directly. But join the Discord anyways and enjoy the community that we have built and continue to build. We've had it for 5 days. We got 600 members, so come on. Bring it all in there. So we're going to do accessories. Everybody's been asking about this, and accessories are an interesting situation, okay? Because they're kind of different. They do different things. And, you know, with the tiered list, you know, you've got to consider how quick and you can get accessories. You can crit them and get them procced for your troop type, and then also tier them up to level 5 and get the Divine Might level 5 tier. There's all kinds of nuances. So let's talk about them all and let's go through it, okay? And as we get in the game here, first and foremost, we love accessories. And I will say this, the biggest improvement you can make on a march, okay? The biggest improvement outside of like maxing a commander or outside of like getting all critted, you know, legendary, you know, cavalry set or something like that. The biggest thing you can do to improve your march is to upgrade from the epic accessories to the legendary accessories, okay? That is the biggest upgrade you can do for your marches. You will immediately see value in your trades and everything. So let's go in here and let's kind of figure this thing out, okay? I'll show you kind of what I run. Now, this is my Canyon set, all right? And if you look at it, I've got a crit, horn, and ring. I'm a cav main, okay? So I've got these things maxed out. Tier 5, crit, horn, and ring, and that's how I go. Skill damage calves, that's the best you can do in the field or in canyon or something like that, okay? I've got my horn critted over here for Zuge. I love the rage on him, and I've got this Ring of Doom here. It is not crit. I don't have everything critted. You come over here to Luce, you're going to get the horn here that is not critted. My critted horn is actually over here for infantry, but not critted, but I do have a critted Greatest Glory. We're going to talk about Greatest Glory and the value of that, okay? I run my Cav Greatest Glory over here on Trajan, even though he's a leadership commander, and then I have a Scolas Lucky Coin critted for leadership. I did this for my Hera garrison, and so there's reasons why you do that. And of course here I've got the critted horn and the ring, okay? So you're seeing a lot of rings, and then you're seeing a lot of different things with Luce. Obviously a little bit different, not the ring, but something better than the ring, and I'll explain that in a second, okay? So when you come in here and you're trying to figure out exactly how you want to do your accessories, okay? And we're going to tier these and rank these, and I'm going to give you my opinion because some work different for different things, okay? First and foremost, we'll go with the Pendant, all right? Pendant's pretty simple. 5% more skill damage of all types. That's great. That's great. But in the relative context of the game today, okay, the Pendant has lost value over time. And the reason why it has lost value over time is because the commanders have become so powerful with so much skill damage enhancements and so much skill damage boosts, and now you've got the wedge formation with all the boosts that it does to skill damage with the special inscriptions and the rare inscriptions. By the way, you can check out my wedge armament tier list I just posted the other day, and you can check that out. But from the standpoint of the Pendant, okay, skill damage is great, but this has slowly started to devalue because 5% just isn't that much. Now, the benefit with the Pendant is that you can get blueprint fragments in Home Kingdom. You can get them in the camps and keeps. So that's one thing you have to consider. Can I get enough fragments? Can I grind it out to get enough prints so I can go get this critted? And if you crit it for calves or you crit it for archers, then how quick can you get the prints to hit the iconic tier list? You've got troop health, you've got base health, troop health, capacity, which we always have, damage to rally to armies or garrison, which is great, and then divine might. Okay, they've all got divine might. Okay, it's 5%. It's a proc for a 5% more normal attack damage and take 5% less normal attack damage. Same thing with skill damage. So this is actually pretty good. Now, if you have 2 of these on 2 different accessories for the same march, they cannot stack. However, they can run simultaneously. So if you have the pendant and then you have the horn, and the pendant fires off the normal damage boost and mitigation, then the horn can fire off and run the skill damage. They can run at the same time between the 2, but they cannot stack. Okay, so the pendant is interesting. It's hard because this is not one of those egg event type accessories. You have to get it in KVK, or you can get it with the blueprint fragments in camps and keeps. Okay, so the pendant, it has got some value. It's got some acceleration to try to get it critted and to try to get it leveled up, but overall the value there is not necessarily ideal. So with that, we're going to go ahead and put up our tier list here. I've got all the things down here at the bottom, and I'm going to put the pendant, don't hate me for this, I'm going to put it in the C category. Okay, that's where pendant goes. That's what it needs, and it'll all make sense here in just a few. So that's kind of a C category situation for the pendant. Okay, the next one, Seth's Call. Okay, Seth's Call is a 10% chance to grant 10% attack bonus to your troop and 2 by nearby allies' troops for 3 seconds. Okay, the acceleration on this is pretty high because you can get it in the egg event. Okay, that's a big deal. However, 10% attack bonus to you and 2 of your other marches for 3 seconds, not a big deal. Not with how much with the power creep and how much these commanders now are doing in their buffs. It's just not a big deal. And the debuffs that you have now, you go get this, but you're getting debuffed from somebody and marches. So this is probably the least valuable accessory. It really is. It's really hard to do as far as justifying the value for it just with the attack bonus. Not a big deal, and honestly, I do like the acceleration as far as how quick you can get the blueprints from the egg event, but overall for me, this is gonna be probably our lowest one. Okay, so you come down here. I'm sorry, I'm going to take that down because this is what I've been talking about over here. Whenever the wearer's troops launches any type of base attack, 10% chance to gain 10% attack to the wearer's troops and the 2 other nearby allies troops for 3 seconds. Okay, just doesn't have the value there for me. I haven't even forged it. Okay, I've never forged this, and I don't know how I got a print. I can't remember how I got it, but I got it. And so, with that being said, we're going to take Seth's Call. Okay. Let me see, get my tier maker here, be all squared away. And then now I'm going to go to Seth's Call, and where are we at? Right here. We're going to put that in the D category, okay? Like, do not get D. Okay, now we are going to go to let's come back to game. Let's go through it again. Now we're going to go to Dagger, okay? Dagger is pretty good. Okay, Dagger still has some value. Whenever the wearer's troops launches any type of basic attack, it has a 30% chance. Okay, so this procs, the high uptime, procs a lot. 30% chance to reduce the target's health by 5%, and it stacks up to 3 times. Each stack lasts 3 seconds. Now, very rarely do you get this to stack 3 times, but the uptime on this is great. There's no cooldown. This is kind of always in effect, and mitigating the health or debuffing the health of the target is actually really, really good. And so with the fact that the acceleration on this is great because you can get it in the egg event, okay, and you can get it critted and you can tier it up. A lot of people like to put the dagger on cavalry because cavalry is the first thing you've got that's going to hit the target, and you want to apply that debuff as fast as possible. And a lot of people like putting the dagger on Luce because Luce's expertise allows him to double up his basic attack, so it just lets it fire off more often. Okay, so the dagger is still got value today. It really does. And It's still a little bit of devalued, if you will, because of the power creep with the commanders in 2024 that we're seeing. This is October 2024, by the way. And so it's not the highest priority. Back 3 years ago, when I played this game, the dagger was so important just because you didn't have that much debuff on health. Okay, but just to give context, even if you stack this 3 times, you get a 15% debuff on the target. Okay, that's one target. All right, CPO's expertise or his active skill, he debuffs 3 enemy targets by 30%. 30%, y'all. And so when you see this, it's just like, well, that's not that big deal. 30% for 3 seconds, legit. And that's every skill cycle. So if you look at it overall, you just don't quite see the value like you used to when it comes to the dagger. And that's why we're going to place it probably, and I've done a lot of thinking about this, we'll put it at the B category because there's still some value there. But the dagger sticks to B, and it doesn't really go much higher than that, though. It is good, and there's no problem having it. I advise everybody in your murder ball to run a dagger. Everybody run at least one, okay? Because it's going to help. Now, when I say that it mitigates the health, it mitigates the health, but all your marches benefit from that. So that's one of those types of accessories that all your marches benefit from, okay? So with that, we'll go to the next one, and the next one is Greatest Glory. Okay. Greatest Glory was always pretty good for commanders like Attila back in the day, okay? Or any normal damage. Really, Attila's the only one that you really wanted to ramp up the normal damage because that's what he does. He just does white numbers, right? But then Smite came out, and it changed everything, okay? So all of a sudden, Greatest Glory became really, really valuable because not only does it have great acceleration, when I say by acceleration, I mean it's easy to get. You can do the egg event. You can max out the egg event in 1 week when it comes, and you can get 2 prints, no problem. It's pretty easy. And so with that, it's easy to get it critted. I've got 2 critted ones over here, one on Luce and one on Trajan, even though it's critted for Cavs. And the reason why is because they're both level 5. Okay, so they bring the Divine Might. That's great. It does more damage to rallied armies and garrisons. This is great for a Gorgo garrison. It's great in the field with Luce and William Wallace. I mean, there are so many good things that this thing does. And so from that standpoint, Greatest Glory is high value, okay? But since it's not just all-encompassing, I mean, you could put this on Zuge. Okay, it doesn't do much. So it's not really transcending all the marches and all the things. So this is great. However, we are only going to put this in the A category, okay? Greatest Glory gets A, okay? And you'll see why. We'll go to the next one, all right? So let's do that. The next one is our ring, okay? The ring is when players are trying to figure it out, and they're trying to figure out which way they're going to go with their accessories, okay? Ring is always an easy fix. If you got a ring print, just get it forged and rock and roll. I run in my murder ball of 7 marches, I run 6 rings, okay? I leave a 7th ring on the bench because I replace it sometimes, but I have 7 rings. And sometimes when I run with Luce, I put the Greatest Glory and ring on him because he really doesn't need a horn. He has a built-in horn. Okay, so 7 rings, you will never go wrong with 7 rings. It is transcendent among all marches, okay? The actual effect of it, you have a 10% chance to gain a 50% bonus damage dealt. That's all damage for 2 seconds, okay? You want to see white numbers go crazy? You do an Attila rally with this thing, you get Attila's 4th skill to fire off with this thing to fire off. It is crazy. And especially if you're doing any kind of smite, it is wild if you've got a Greatest Glory and a ring. Now, for all intents and purposes, when you average out this all damage and you average it out with a cooldown and you're kind of figuring out the actual numbers, a critted ring is a little bit less overall damage per second than the Greatest Glory critted for smite commanders. Okay, let's be clear about that. It has to be for smite commanders. However, the ring is almost just as good as the Greatest Glory for smite commanders. You can put the ring on Gorgo and it's almost just as good as the Greatest Glory. okay? And so when you have that, that's why the ring is just so important, and you can't have enough of them. You literally cannot have enough of them. So I'm gonna take the ring, and we're gonna put that, let me do my thing here. We're gonna put that at S tier. That's what the ring is, okay? So we're going S tier with the ring. Cannot go wrong. Encourage everybody to get them, to get multiple rings, to try to whatever troop type you're going for, try to get it critted for that troop type. You can now get 2 rings in a KVK. The acceleration is not great because you can't get it anywhere else but KVK, but now you can get it twice, okay? So you can spend your season coins and get the KVK accessories like the ring twice. You can get 2 prints for every KVK, okay? So next we're gonna go to Horn, okay? Horn is amazing, absolutely amazing. A lot of players, like very rare players, subscribe to more War Drums than Horn. And that's like a binary path. You either go like 5 to 6 horns in a murder ball, or if you're running 5 marches, you run maybe 4 horns, or you go 4, 5, or 6 War Drums, but you don't do both. Okay, so it's a really tough situation. They don't stack with one another, so you either go all drums or you go all horns. Okay, but the horn is great. I've always run it. I've got 7 horns, and the actual effects of it. Any kind of launch a basic attack, it has a 30% chance to gain 50 rage. Okay, 30% chance to gain 50 rage. There is no cooldown on that. Okay, so those are just the attributes. That's what it does. Anytime you launch a basic attack, okay? A lot of people say, well, that's great. I can put it on Luce. And if I put it on Luce, then it's going to fire off more often. Okay, well, here's the other problem. When Luce hits his expertise, and 25% of the time he gives a double basic attack, he has a built-in horn as it is. You're going to over-rage him. He can't get any more rage, so it's a little bit deficient with your Luce. But other than that, the horn is great. The other part of the horn that's not amazing is that if you're running a rally or garrison and you're being swarmed, the horn does nothing for you. You're going to rage cap anyways. The horn does nothing. So just keep that in mind when it comes to the horn. And because of that, because it doesn't quite transcend everything to where you can put it on a rally or a garrison that's going to get swarmed, it's not going to give you much benefit. So that is what's going to keep this thing in the A tier category, if that makes sense. So you take the horn, you put it in the A tier right there with Greatest Glory, just because it doesn't transcend into everything. Okay, more horns and rings though, the better. All right, some of these other things you don't do much more than just 1, maybe 2, but you don't do much more than 1. Okay, we come into the next round of stuff. You've got the web. Okay, I love the web. I love it. Okay, but I do not have it. I dismantled mine a long time ago. But the web is really good, okay? In open field, it's great. It has a 30% to reduce the target's defense by 4% and march speed to the target's cavalry units by 8%. So if you're trying to chase down farm killers or you're trying to chase down cavalry, you can apply this 8% march speed reduction, okay? It stacks up to 3 times, just like the dagger. So you can stack this up to 12% defense mitigation, and you can stack this thing up to 24% cav units march speed being debuffed. Okay, so there is you can provide some good things with that, and it works out really, really well. Okay, and so, but more than anything, you don't want to have more than 1. If you're going to run 1, just run 1. Okay, and a lot of people, just like the dagger, you go put it on your cavalry marches that are going to hit first and fast, and you want to get those things out there and get that buff going, that debuff going. Or you put it on Luce, that's going to give you more chances to spiral that thing up. But the web is good, not great. It's devalued a little bit because there's so much defense mitigation going on with the skills and everything. So from that standpoint, we'll put the horn or the web right here with the dagger. Okay, it's second to the dagger. I think the dagger is a little bit more effective, a little bit better, gives you more things. Okay, so the web sits with the dagger in the B tier. Okay, so we go to the next one. Scolas Lucky Coin. Okay, this is pretty rare. Okay, this really is all encompassing, but how much of a benefit is it? With these armaments now and these inscriptions where you get phalanx and you get some of these inscriptions that give you, 300, 400 damage absorbing shields and that kind of thing. This is great to put on, a Gorgo March. This is great to put on, and I say a Gorgo March, a Gorgo Garrison, anytime you're being swarmed, because when you're being hit with any kind of attack, and if you're being hit by 12, swarm down a garrison with 12 people, you're going to make this thing proc more and more and more. And it used to be even better just because the damage factor at 500 used to be like much better back when the highest damage factor you got was like 2,000 or 1,700. Well, nowadays it's like 2,800. So it's not worth near the amount that it used to be back in the day. But you can still put it on your Gorgo if you're running like Eleanor, Hera, and Arc, and you're getting to structures fast. You can put this on her because it's a lot of swarming in Arc. So you can make your Hera YSS, you can make it last forever with all the Hera shields and then the lucky coin. You can do some cool things with it, and you can put it on any march in the field, and it's gonna help a little bit, and that's what it's for. But it's hard to get. Okay, you can only get it in KVK. So the acceleration on this isn't the greatest, okay? So with that, we'll take the horn. Let's come back to our tier here. We will take the horn and we will take the coin and we're gonna put the coin, where were we gonna have the coin? Let me look. I think we're gonna put that in the B category, okay? So we have that going on, and we'll go on to the next one, all right? I think this will make a lot of sense for a lot of people when you see kind of how this thing works out overall, but that's just kind of how we do it, and I think it works out really, really well. Okay, so let's go to the next one in game, and we're on to Vengeance. Okay, I love Vengeance. I freaking love it. But again, it's a little bit like the coin, okay? You want to put the Vengeance on a march, a rally, or a garrison that's going to be swarmed. You want to punish, okay? And using the Vengeance is a great way to do that. 8% counterattack. I love the straight stuff, no proc stuff. It's just straight 8% counterattack. If you crit this thing, it's going to ramp that up to like 10.5 or 11%. And so it's really, really good. I got rid of mine just because I run the Greatest Glory. But a lot of people who love to be swarmed in a garrison love running the Vengeance. And it's really, really good. It's very effective. It kicks back damage. It makes it prickly. And the Vengeance does work, okay? Overall for the value, I think you still put it kind of in that, let's see here, you still kind of put it in that B seed category, okay? Now I would probably put the Vengeance at the very beginning. I think this is the most powerful. It's not quite here with these guys, but it's right about here. And depending on the circumstance, it can be really, really effective for you, okay? We're trying to transcend like everything, like rallies, garrisons, field, just overall, here's what you need, okay? I wouldn't advise to get more than one Vengeance. Get one, try to crit it, and then try to work the tiers on it. And that's the best way to work that, okay? From here, we come back into game and we have the war drums, okay? War drums are not ideal. They are not ideal, okay? A lot of people get the war drums, and God bless them for it. I think I still have a war drums. I don't have it on anybody right now, but I think I still have it for my Hera. Do I? I believe I do. Let's see. Let's just see if I got it somewhere here. Where is it? Yeah, I do. Hell yeah. Look at that. And it's critted for leadership. So the war drums is good. You can put it on Trajan and Canyon. I don't, because I think I got something better, but war drums is really, really pretty good. It provides that level of rage that you can give to your other marches, and so it's pretty cool how it works. When you launch any kind of basic attack, it has a 10% chance to gain 50 extra rage to your troops and up to 2 nearby allies. Cooldown's 3 seconds. So with like a Luce, you can get this thing to kind of fire off more often. Now, when I said the binary choice between horn and drums is, you don't want to have, just 2 or 3 horns, okay? If you're going in on horns, go get 5. All right, if you're going in on drums, go get 5. Okay, you don't want to just do like 2 drums. Okay, it just doesn't do much. You don't want to do 2 drums and 3 horns. You either go all in on one or all in on the other. okay? But if you have 5 marches, and people swear by this, and I've got friends of mine who have run it with like 4, 5, or 6 drums, and it's wild. It is crazy how that works out. I would love to test it more, but if you have a whole bunch of drums, okay, this thing will fire off like crazy if you've got it on 5 or 6 marches and you're just laying down rage all over the place. And so with that though, I don't think that it's got near the value that it kind of used to. So we kind of put horn. I mean, overall, you put it in that category with the pendant. It's not great. It's okay, but it's just there's so much rage enhancement going on with skills and with talents and with gear and inscriptions and all the things that it's just kind of devalued a little bit, and you got to put it in the C category. Okay. And last but not least, okay, I didn't know this, and this is what's going to surprise everybody. Okay. I just didn't really even think of this. I saw this come out a couple of KVKs ago. Okay. The emulating plum. Okay. What is that? Heaven forbid. Well, whenever the wearer's troop deals ranged direct damage or ranged smite damage, it has a 50% chance to increase that damage by 30 seconds. Cooldown 5 seconds. For every skill cycle, you got a 50% chance to increase your damage by 30 seconds. That is broken. Okay, if you had that, let's just say it wasn't ranged direct damage or ranged smite damage. Let's just say you had that for active skill or just pure direct damage, skill damage. You got a 50% chance to increase that damage by 30 seconds. That's broken. That is stupid broken. And anybody that I know that is a ranged guy, they will tell you, you go get this thing and you go put it on some of those ranged commanders, the high damage ones. It's wild. Okay. So the value of this, and I don't run it. Okay. And most people don't run ranged stuff, but if you did, the value of this is just straight up, guys. You can't get any better. It's boom. That's how high the importance goes. That's how high the priority goes if you are a ranged player or you're trying to build a ranged march. This thing will get you so much value, it's not even funny. All right. And so overall, that's kind of where we're set. Okay. Ring is transcendent. It transcends everything. Okay, it's going to help every march. It's going to help everything, especially now that people are getting Trajan off the field. You're running all damage marches. Everybody's running all damage marches. Ring you can't go wrong with. You can put it on every single march and you get great benefit from it. And that's why it's on the S tier. Greatest glory I love. I love being able to get it with the acceleration of how often you can get those prints. I love that, but it's specific more for smite. Or an Attila rally if you think you're going to get swarmed or something, or if you're just rallying cities and stuff. Greatest glory is great. Horn, same thing, except the reason why it's not an S tier, it doesn't transcend everything. You can't just go put it on a rally or garrison, because if you get swarmed, you better make real sure if you're going to run a rally, it's not going to be swarmed, then you can put the horn on it and you get massive effect. Okay. But the minute you get swarmed, you devalue that. You devalue your rally. People will still run it because you don't know if you're being swarmed or not. That's fine. Okay. But more than anything, you always want to look at this and say, hey, if I'm in a Kingsland flag and this is a heist A-seed or Imperium KVK, swarming's going on everywhere. If I put this on my Gorgo, it's probably going to get devalued because I'm immediately getting swarmed once that rally hits. So that's why we keep that horn at the A-seed. Then you got kind of your regular usual suspects here. Vengeance, I think, is great. I talked about that. Dagger still has a role. I think that's good. Web, same thing. Coin, same thing. These are specific roles for each one of these. And then you go into the pendant, not near as good as it used to be. War drums, you have to have a whole lot of them to really make them effective. And then Seth's calls, really just not worth it at all. So that's kind of your tier list, and I'm sticking to it. That's kind of how I advise players. That's kind of what I tell them what to do and how to do it. I get asked that all the time. What accessories do I get? Do I focus on this? Do I focus on that? Do I try to crit my ring? Do I try to make another ring? And there's all kinds of different solutions. And listen, not everybody's perfect and not everybody's got all the answers, but I like to kind of share, hey, this is what my experience is, and this is what I like to help you guys with. And if you like them, great. If you don't, I'm sure you got a good reason why you don't, and we can go on to the next thing. So War Daddy Chadsky here. Another video dropped. If you like what you see, throw a like on the video. subscribe to the channel, join my Discord. I'll have it down in the description. Hang out with us, and just really appreciate everybody's feedback and the response for the channel. It's gone exceptionally well. Our subscriptions are through the roof and everything that we've done. So we appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for being a part of our community. And we'll see you next time, broskies.